Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business News Afternoon Report for Monday, the 23rd of October 2023. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, the ASX fell close to 1% today to hit its lowest level in a year, with fears about the conflict in the Middle East hurting markets. The benchmark S&P ASX 200 lost 57 points, or 0.9%, to finish at 6,844 points. Now that extends last week's losses. 7 out of the 11 sectors were in the red, with materials and energy leading the losses. It was a bad day all around. The major banks lost ground, though Macquarie was higher. Woolies, CSL, Transurban and Coles, all defensive stocks, were among the best performers. Coal and energy stocks were certainly the worst of the miners. Energy stocks did poorly, with Woodside off 3.2%, Santos down 2.5%, and Beach Energy tumbling 4%. BHP, Fortescue Metals Group and Rio Tinto were all down around 2.5%. Story number 2, Treasury Wines. Share price rallied more than 4% today, and that's on a bad day for the market. That was on the news that Aussie Reds and Whites will be allowed back into China without restrictive tariffs eventually. It will take 5 months to get there, but the deal between Beijing and Canberra announced over the weekend should bolster Treasury, which of course is the home of Penfolds. Treasury said it will focus on its Penfolds French, US and Chinese portfolios. The tariffs were introduced in late 2020 and resulted in about a 1/3 drop in Treasury's profits. One of the silver linings on the tariff issue has been local exporters have been forced to find new markets or become more efficient. Now, China's back in the mix. Maybe they're back in the harvest. Things are looking up for vignerons. Treasury share price ended up 1.4%, having rallied that 4% earlier in the morning. Story number 3, one company to rally today was Australia's second largest funeral director, Propel Funeral. In a statement, it said it had rejected multiple buyout offers because they were too cheap. In fact, quite a bit of corporate news around today. Biotech company Immutep's share price jumped 20% after it published positive clinical trials for its lung cancer treatment. Judo Capital said it's seeking capital and its share price fell more than 5%. Viva Energy Group's share price fell after it said retail petrol margins are being squeezed. And Weebit Nano, how's that for a name? It's a semiconductor company headquartered in Israel. Not surprisingly, the market has been concerned about the company given where it is located. Weebit reckons it's business as usual. It seems sentiment is on the side of the group, with its share price now well above the level it was on October 7 when Hamas attacked Israel. It jumped another 15% today. In the past 3 weeks, it's up 50%. Story number 4, Guzman Y Gomez, the Mexican fast food chain, is hoping to list on the ASX, but according to media reports, the current owners want too much money. Guzman Y Gomez has been wanting to list for a while. The Financial Review has been running stories for months. Yesterday, it said what the owners want, maybe around $1.6 billion for the chain, such as Domino's and Collins Foods, which owns KFC. The owners include co-founder Stephen Marks, as well as Aware Super, Barrenjoey and others. And story number 5, Israel appears to support diplomatic efforts to get Hamas to release hostages from Gaza quickly, which may delay any ground invasion. Israel says that there are 210 known hostages from many countries taken on October 7 when Hamas broke through the border fence into Israel in an attack that killed more than 1,400 Israelis. In retaliation, Israel has been bombing Gaza for 2 weeks. The death toll from the airstrikes has risen to more than 4,500, the Hamas-run Ministry of Health in Gaza said. Over the weekend, an American mother and her 19-year-old daughter from Chicago were set free. Now, that occurred through the mediation of Qatar. The US is pushing the wealthy Gulf state, which hosts some political leaders of Hamas, to do much more. That's it for the afternoon report for Monday, the 23rd of October, 2023. Don't forget to hit follow on the podcast and find Fear and Greed on LinkedIn, Instagram, X and Facebook. Join Adam Lang and I tomorrow morning for the Fast 5 by Fear and Greed, the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.